Hey, hi, hello. You're listening to UW Comedy Hour on Rainy Dog Radio. UW Comedy Hour airs every Saturday at noon, available at rainydawg.org. If you can't listen in at noon, you can go to UW Comedy Club's YouTube channel, see older radio episodes, as well as full stand-up performances from members. To hear more, you can follow Rainy Dog on Instagram at rainydawg. UW Comedy Club is the best and only stand-up comedy club at UW. To hear more from us, including show dates, performer highlights, and more, follow us on Instagram at UW Comedy Club. We have meetings in Savory Hall, room 138, every Wednesday at 6:30, where there is absolutely no experience required to have a good time. So face me if you think you're so noble. Come down into the dirt and face me like a man, and come on by. Today in the Not Studio, we have KB.
That's my full legal name, and I'm so glad to be back on the radio.
Full legal name. You know, it's way more backslashes than you would think.
Yeah, it's a lot more backslashes and honestly more umlauts too on the
Just
B's.
what you would think they could put an umlaut on a K, but they really found a way. They just put it in the little ditch of the top line and the bottom line.
That's
Like
exactly where it
the
goes.
top V bit. Explaining the shape of a K, I'm making the shape with my hands. It's not helping.
I hope you guys are following along with this diagram at home.
Yeah. So I need everyone to draw a K with their mind, right?
Or with your paper. You can get pen and paper if that helps you.
Yeah, that might help. We're visual learners here, which is why we do audio. And then if you put the two balls of the umlaut, right, and you put them in the crux of that little K,
Like little
that's where they go.
little guys at a skate park, honestly.
Exactly. Little guys at a skate park. If a skate park was just a sharp drop.
I've never been to a skate park. That's kind of just how I picture it in my mind.
Just picture a big hole. A big
Tony
hole.
Hawk is really cool and really boring at the same time. He does the coolest thing so many times.
Yet he is Tony Hawk. He has the coolest name, but he looks like that. Like I describe him as like if you had to pick a stock photo of a man, but you wanted to give no connotation to it because you're trying to teach an English lesson about what connotation is.
Neutral man.
Exactly. Just like I have no opinions about his face or anything about him, but his legal name is Tony Hawk.
It's so cool that I own a flannel with Tony Hawk on it. It's made for little schoolboys, and I own it now, and it's held up very nicely. So if you ever see a Tony Hawk flannel, honestly, snap it up.
Aged so well. So is it just a picture of his face printed on the back? Is it just the words Tony Hawk?
The Tony Hawk is printed where like the normal brand would go in the inside of it. There's on the outside there's no indication that Tony Hawk was involved in any way.
So it's Tony Hawk's brand. It's a secret Tony Hawk.
Yeah, surprise Tony Hawk.
Okay. He's got his hands in all different businesses. You know what else he's been doing lately? CBD. But not for you, for the skateboard.
Oh, okay.
Gotta keep them boards nice and relaxed. You gotta re-grip tape them and put some new wheels on them, some new trucks. That's where the wheels hook in. And then you just gotta rub CBD oil all over the board.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Nice
I'm not free to hang out this weekend. I gotta give my board a massage, honestly.
I gotta light a bunch of candles, make sure it feels safe.
Stressed out
the whole
lately.
Production. It's been real. It's going through some hard times at work with me. I just want to hear it out. I just want to listen. I just want to be present for it.
I want to give the board some space to talk.
Yeah. Really open up a dialogue with the board.
The board.
KB, how was your winter break?
Well, you know what? It went swimmingly. I got to go and do work at my job in another state in Colorado where minimum wage is lower than in Seattle. And I got to go make money at that job. This is the best job I've ever had because they've slowly come to understand that I don't want to speak to the customers ever. So I get to go in when we're closed, like at night and stuff.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I get to dress all the mannequins, put their little outfits on. They don't come alive at night and help me, which is honestly really inconvenient of them. But
I can't think of a worse situation for myself to be in than with a living mannequin.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're not very helpful in the whole getting their clothes on situation. Huge hassle.
I would prefer them be dead than helpful. I don't know why. I've always had like a deep fear of not specific, not like I see a shop mannequin and go, ah, unless they're the Old Navy ones that have like
Oh,
faces
no,
and those ones are bad.
those ones are people. There's people in those ones.
There's people, they just lacquered them over, they're gone. They've been taken by Old Navy. But no, every time you see like a mannequin in a horror movie, it's always like stationary. Everyone's like, oh, that's a regular mannequin. Until you like turn around and it's not a regular mannequin.
Guess
It's
what? Not
gone
regular.
or it's behind you. It's a bad mannequin. I
It's a
don't like
mannequin with ill
things.
intentions.
Yeah, I don't like things that aren't supposed to move and then you know that they're not going to move and then they move.
Yeah, that's been me pretty much. Online school, am I right, guys?
Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa.
How
My
topically
fear,
relevant.
it's so topical. My fear may also be motivated by the fact that when I was 13 and my parents and I went to the outlet malls in Centralia, I thought it'd be funny if I unscrewed one of the mannequin hands and just handed it to my dad. So I did that. And I was not able to re-screw on the mannequin hand, so I just set it down somewhere.
Yeah, it's okay. That used to happen at Kohl's all the time. We didn't know how to screw them back in either, so we'd kind of just put like a sleeve on it and shove it in there, and then they would just kind of look like that a loose hand the rest of the day.
It's just shy. It's doing that kitty paw hand thing.
Yeah. We yassified the mannequins when kids would come by and unscrew them. People always like to sit on the shelves too, the shoe shelves, and that was not a thing that you could do because they were supposed to be movable.
Oh
And so
no.
then they would fall down and knock stuff over. Then they'd be like, I don't know how that happened. It was like your son sat on it, is how that happened.
You pushed him around. You said, "Get up here, son. Follow in my footsteps." I once, as a boy, unscrewed mannequin hands and sat on these shelves, and you shall do the same. This is our bloodlines. This is our right to fuck up this Kohl's.
This is where the real learning happens.
Out in the streets.
Out here in the streets.
And then out of the street and into the store, which is Kohl's.
Into the aisle of the department store, which is again Kohl's.
Yeah. My move was never to sit on the shelves, but like to get in like the rack of clothes and just kind of get back in there.
Oh yeah. There's a good little zone in there, honestly.
It's a good little hiding zone. You will freak out a lot of women at Old Navy looking for deals.
Yeah, they're not. See, that's coming back to the not expecting to see things move. You're also not expecting to see people in some places.
You're not expecting to see a child in the 30% off baby clothes rack, and when you do, it sure is a surprise.
There's a little face in there, and they are looking at you.
They're always looking.
Eyes are deadlocked on you in your little pencil skirt.
You are not getting away with those deals scot-free. How was your Christmas, KB?
Oh, it went pretty good. Where my family just moved out to Colorado, so got to do Christmas with them. That was sweet. They moved out to Colorado, and then there was a devastating wildfire.
Oh no! Did they do it?
They didn't do it. I did, I think. I have no basis for that other than Catholic guilt deep in... Look, I wasn't even fucking over there, okay? I didn't actually do it.
KB, we didn't say you did. I'd never said you did.
I know, but the Catholic Church says I did, quite frankly.
The Catholic Church, they're not saying you did, but they're looking at you like you did.
Yeah, they're raising their eye. It's because I left all those years ago. I know it's my fault. This is the price that Colorado pays for my sins. I have an alibi. I was at work. Like, I wasn't over there.
I mean, you could always have an accomplice. I assume more people than you left the Catholic Church.
You know what? That's a really good point. Thank you for being on the Catholic Church's side in this argument of
I am never put that on my name. I do not stand by that. I just feel like it's important for someone to speak for the little guy, in which case I mean the Catholic Church.
Right, the little guy, the thousands years old institution.
Yeah, with so much money, and yet they still make people take vows of poverty. How fucked up is that? I've been learning a lot about nuns lately against my will.
You brought that on yourself, and you know that. You thought that
Yes.
you thought that you could be this was your backup plan, wasn't it? That if all
Yes,
else
it
went wrong,
was.
you could be a nun where you would make cheese and frolic.
Okay. Yes. So yes, if this whole college thing didn't work out, being a nun was my plan C for Christ. I would be a nun because my understanding of what nuns did was they lived in mostly France and sometimes Sweden. Got there.
Swiss is Switzerland, buddy.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah,
You know where
Switzerland.
the nuns live.
It's like the Alps,
Yeah,
They're
the
always in the
Alps.
Alps.
I'll give you
I
that.
thought what nuns did was live in the Alps, make cheese and lace by hand, and sometimes wine, and have a lot of lesbian sex. That's what I thought being a nun was. And I've been told, mostly by my girlfriend, who thinks it's very funny that I knew nothing about Catholicism. Like, I've just been told terrible fun facts about what being a nun actually includes.
In the
Way
modern
more
day.
reading the Bible.
That's kind of the main thing of it, honestly.
Like, I knew they had to do it, but
You thought it
I've
was like
read a
a
lot of books I didn't want to.
sure, and like once you read it once, you can kind of like fake if you
Yeah.
did the reading, right? Like
Yeah, no, you got the gist. That's how I thought it worked. Like your first week-ish, 2 weeks maybe at most of being a nun is just like, okay, I'm going to sit in my room and read the Bible and then I'm done with that.
yeah, you just got to speed run the Bible real
Yeah.
quick and then you can kind of chat with the others.
Yeah, no, I thought that was it. But it turns out you have to take vows of like poverty and silence, and I hate silence and I hate poverty. It's just awful.
Yeah, I think honestly you also have to maybe be a teacher too at a Catholic school.
What the hell?
That's what a lot of them do. I
I like
narrowly dodged that because my mom had to go to Catholic school.
Ah. I'm very happy for you. I also get dunked on a lot by my girlfriend because I grew up with no religion whatsoever. Like I think some of my older relatives were Lutheran, which is very diet Christianity in my understanding. Like, it was less like, let's talk about Jesus, and more like, you're invited over for Easter. We make really good ham. We're going to say one thing of grace, and then we're all going to eat and forget about it. Like, I was given like an illustrated Bible as a kid, and that was it. That was the end of trying to get Bella into religion.
Dang.
It just made me interested in comic books. That's all it did.
See, now I have to like because I was raised Catholic for many years. I went to church every week, once
Oh,
a week for probably the first 12 years of my life.
oh my God.
The explaining Catholicism is very funny to me because a lot of people don't know like what it entails, and a lot of it is just like the church has a special bone if you're in Europe. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I have a bone from St. Patrick." And you're like, "Haha, that must be symbolic." And no, it's not symbolic. They're not joking. They like literally have his femur there. And they
Okay.
just have it. And that's what it's like in Europe. In America, it's like they just don't have youth groups and they don't know what to do with the kids. So you just have to sit through the whole 1.5 hour church service like everybody else.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is European Catholicism, like, kind of weird, kind of fun. I feel like I could
Yeah.
party with it. I was having a talk with a friend recently. I forget who it was. And they're like, I just want to like walk into a church and like tour it. Do you think I'm allowed to do that? Like, would they get mad?
In America, it's an interesting sentiment, but I've definitely done it before when I was in Europe. That's a huge like you
Mhm.
can literally just walk in
Just
because
hang.
there'll
Just.
be buildings from like the year 1200, and it's like,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do? Stop people from going in there just because it's
Yeah.
technically a church?
And like, I feel like churches are supposed to let people in. I feel like that's one of their big things.
So they say.
So they say. I have no way of knowing. I didn't understand a lot of books in AP Lit, but you know what? I feel like that's worth not going to church. Once a week is a lot. Like, I feel like you'd cover it's not a long book. I've seen a Bible.
Yeah, I feel like we were going over the same stuff sometimes, honestly.
This one's it's just like this one's a zone out class. Just chill. This is the review before the test. You feel like you got it. We're just gonna chill for the day.
And they're long too. They're like an hour and a half, and then there's this whole part where a guy's talking. Forget his technical title within the church because I haven't been in a few years, but
and that's why you started that fire.
Yeah, that's what caused it, honestly, because I can't remember the name of the guy. If he's priest, pastor, I don't know. He talks for a long time, and he has a very strong accent. So as a child, that was just like I had to learn how to zone out fast, and it's a skill that's helped me, I guess.
There's just a talking man. I feel like if we just call all of that job talking man.
Talking guy.
The one who talks.
He who talks.
I recently learned that, like, up until, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years, it was all Latin all the time.
Yeah. A lot of churches in Europe still do Latin masses. I think we had them at our church too. I don't think we ever went to one.
Doing mass in Latin is basically just inviting people in to be like, I want you to be submerged in, like, the ambiance of religion, but understand none of the content.
Yeah, like, how would you know if they just start saying some stuff?
Yeah, you're gonna feel really religious and really, I assume it's gonna be, like, nice low lighting.
Yeah, they got candles, they're singing, but they're
Yeah.
just like, I went to Old Navy and I tried to use a coupon, but then they wouldn't let me use the coupon.
So I took off a mannequin hand and took it home.
And now it's under the pew, and we can pretend like it's the venerable hand of Jesus himself.
This is a metaphorical bone. This is obviously an American Christian church, or Catholic church, excuse me.
It's the
because they have no bones.
Yeah, no bones in these churches out here.
I have a math teacher from my high school who specifically toured Europe with his lovely wife and baby boy, specifically to look at churches covered in bones. Like, he went to Eastern Europe and he's like, I like it there. People are mean to you. Specifically to look at the churches that are, like, made of human bones.
Just go take a look at them real quick.
Yeah, that's his. He's got a vibe. He once, like, told us in the middle of class, he's like, I was driving really late last night, and I just thought where it's like, it's just paint. It's just paint on the road. It can't do anything to me. It's just paint on the road. It doesn't really mean anything.
Hey, buddy.
It was a good way to learn pre-calculus.
He said we live in a society. Okay, take the square root.
Anyway, we're going to learn about cotangent and tangent. Not that it really matters. You could die at any moment. Anyways.
Jot this down, guys.
I suggest this to everyone. If you can find out a teacher who used to be a goth, take a class with that teacher. It's great.
Oh my god. How do you even get that information?
I got it afterwards, but, like, you can just see where it's like, that makes sense. Make sense.
Sure. Like, everything clicks into place. Like, oh, like, yeah.
It was delightful. How's your quarter been going so far, KB? Do you have any goth teachers?
Oh, let me think about that one for a minute. Don't think so. Haven't picked up on any goth vibes yet, but I'm like half online, half in person, so a lot of sitting taking online classes directly outside of a classroom. It's the worst breed of hybrid learning.
That sucks. Can you not just, like, find an empty classroom? You deserve a table, KB.
Yeah, I do deserve a table, honestly. I'm really scared to start poking around in this building. It's a life sciences building, and I've never had a class in there before. And I'm a little worried what I might find if I start looking around too hard.
Well, I promise you, as I found the grift of just go into a classroom if it's empty, it's all yours now. Take as much fucking table space as you want.
You know what?
I found that early. The worst that can happen to you is that a TA comes in and they are very confused.
And you can, like, look back at them and go, hey, and they can go, hey.
You just gotta you can spread out as much as you want, but you gotta have a backup plan.
Yeah, you gotta be able to get out.
That's my advice.
Either you have a backup plan, or you have, like, networking ready to go for when that TA comes in. So you
Yep.
can just start, you can like link up real quick, you know?
With the TA? You just
Yeah.
have LinkedIn pulled up?
Yeah, you gotta go, hey, haven't seen you around those buildings before. What do you do for a living?
Do you want to buy any lotion or essential oils? You can set your own hours. No? Okay, I'll go.
You want some CBD lotion for your skateboard?
Gets it real relaxed. No? You're teaching math? Got it. Got it.
Smooth it out.
Do you have any classes you like so far this quarter?
Oh my god, I'm in a fermentation biology class right now. We're doing biochemistry of fermentation.
Ooh.
We are making beer in this university campus. The other day we went to class and they were like, okay, here's some various types of grains you might see, and we were all like, sick, and they passed out plates full of grains to us and we were like, sick, and they were like, oh, you can eat them, guys, taste them, by the way. So we all just sat there eating grains for like 10 minutes like pigs and chickens. It was sick.
Just pecking, just like gentle pecks.
Yeah, gentle pecks. We were all afraid to pull down our masks in front of each other even though we were 6 feet apart. It was
You're just throwing grains at each other to maintain social distancing.
Yeah.
Flicking them across the room.
Punting them a little bit.
Here's the question we're all wondering. Do you have a favorite raw grain to eat?
You know what? I liked the Munich. It was pretty good, and rye was also pretty good raw, I will say that.
You heard it here first, folks. Just eat stuff you find in the dirt.
You can eat it. It's yummy and tasty.
It's yummy and tasty, and you can ferment it.
It's from the earth. It's holistic and wholesome.
I'm just gonna eat this fucking rock.
It's good for your gut biome.
Over the summer, I made wine, kind of, out of blackberries I found along the road.
Ooh, how'd it turn out?
Weird. It turned out weird.
Fair enough. How did you make it?
Sweeter and thicker than you thought it should be, and it should have been. You basically take any fruit or vegetable, anything that has sugar in it, you mix more sugar in it, you boil it, you put it in a bottle, you put a balloon on top of the neck of the bottle, and you punch like a hole in the bottom of the balloon, like with a needle.
Aha.
And then you just let it sit for a while.
Yeah, I've actually done something very similar in OChem lab, which is maybe not a good sign, but
yeah, no, and I'm not saying anyone should do this. I'm saying mine was probably a bad idea, and you need to make sure everything's really clean, so don't do this. But
yeah,
it did taste a lot like blackberries.
That might have been from the blackberries, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a really sweet juice, possibly fermented. Like there was a lot of, you don't notice this when you eat them, there's a lot of grit in blackberries.
Yeah, the seeds get really chunky when you make them into anything else that's not just eating them raw. Like, you ever had a blackberry in a smoothie? It's eating gravel, basically, at that point.
Yeah. So if you ever want to have some gritty wine.
True grit.
That only takes 3 hours work of standing along a road. Various roads. Because I hit at the end of blackberry season, so like all of the good ones were dead.
You know they like sell them in the store.
But the whole point was that I knew that there were blackberry bushes in my neighborhood. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to forage.
Okay, I do respect the hell out of you for that.
The whole point of making the wine was to be like, I'm going to go picking. I'm going to do that. I'm practicing for my nunnery in case this whole school thing doesn't work out. Yeah. Returning to that. This was pre me learning nuns kind of have bad jobs.
Maybe
it's not a fun job.
Make a new nun. Make a new type of
My plan D is actually make my own religion where it's not technically a cult. It's more of just a place people live. The tenets of my religion. So hold your judgment because I came up with them like very early in high school. Everyone has to wear sunglasses all the time.
I'm so in for that.
Everyone has to have one dish that they can make really well.
Okay, I might be out. I'm sorry, I can't cook.
It's only one recipe, KB. You can make one recipe.
All right, let me think about it.
Like you're just like I got my sunnies and I got my risotto and I'm good to be in this religion. And then the next step is just profit.
Profit.
Religions are very profitable. This is something I know. This is something I've been told.
That's true.
Yeah.
So basically, get your sunglasses.
Yep.
Get your gnocchi recipe.
Yep.
Your gnocchi recipe.
Our holy book is the recipe book that we make from everyone's recipes.
You know what? That's a good holy book.
That's a pretty good holy book. A lot of holy books don't have any gnocchi in them, which sucks, right?
That's what I'm saying. More recipes per holy book.
There's no gnocchi. You never open up a Lutheran Bible and see, like, in the middle, a recipe for blueberry yum yum. You're not going to find any, you're not going to find any caramel. Nothing.
I want, like, a sidebar that just tells me how to make a dish every so often. It doesn't need to be related to the content of the page.
I'm not saying I would convert, but if there was a Bible that in the side, like when they're explaining, like, Shakespeare when you read it in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it's just like, hey, do you know it pairs really well with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? How about some nice chicken tomato soup?
Lot's wife turned into salt. Here's what you can do with salt.
Let's make your own salted beef. Yeah. No, I'd be into that. I wouldn't convert. Sounds like a lot of work. But I'd definitely peruse a copy at a Barnes & Noble. Wouldn't buy it.
If you're building up your own religion from the ground, why not include it, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everyone, keep a firm grip on your radio, because when we get back, KB and I will be engaging in some hot goss, sweltering scoop, some boiling hot information about fun facts and making and creating and loving and touching art. Stay tuned.
Forget the bread section. Skip the deli too.
Walk right past that produce crap and those fresh-made du jour soups.
Cause there's an aisle in the grocery store, that new one by the curbs for kids.
Ditch your Whole Foods totes and your Costco cards,
cause you're gonna wanna see what this is.
Y'all know what they got? They got a fictional aisle.
A fictional aisle.
Filled with fictional food.
Fictional
you
food.
think to yourself, this can't be real.
Hey sister, you're speaking the truth.
It's a fictional aisle.
It's a fictional aisle.
Filled with fictional stuff.
They got fictional
say the
stuff.
food can't be fake if the fake food's real.
Hey brother, you're thinking too much. Let's go take a tour of the aisle, shall we? They got loud bologna, dog eggs,
and a jar of celery farts,
bicycle meat, swamp butter,
and a hummingbird that's bigger than you,
chocolate photographs, reverse watermelon,
roast beef that zaps you when you touch it,
secret peanuts, divorce carrots,
the stuff inside of balloons.
The stuff inside of balloons.
They've got a fictional aisle.
Fictional aisle.
Filled with fictional food.
Fictional
a can of green cans and a panic jam. A box of rice, but the box is a goose.
The goose is alive.
A fictional aisle.
Don't eat the goose.
Filled with fictional food.
Recycle the
a
goose.
kilometer of fruit by the foot and some noodles made out of the moon. You've reached the end of the aisle and you take a look back. To your surprise, the aisle now says factual items. Reason being, you saw the aisle, and seeing is believing. But how could it have been fictional beforehand when we, the narrators, claim to have seen it in the first place? Simple. We aren't real. Well, we weren't until you saw us. And now we are real. All because of you. So from the bottom of our hearts,
thank you for making us real.
It's the factual aisle.
Factual aisle.
Now we're actual dudes.
Tall boy special.
Sign us by whatever you want.
We exist now because of you.
It's a factual song.
Factual song.
This is the actual truth.
We wrote it ourselves.
Sing play who gave us life today.
So why don't we name off more foods?
Roasted garbage.
Well done popsicles. And a cake buttons over a fence. Corn dog flip-flops. Invisible pancakes.
Welcome back, lovely radio audience. That was the song Fictional Isle by Tall Boy Special. KB, you've told me before that you study biochemistry, and you've also called biochemistry a fun facts major. What do you mean by that?
Biochemistry is a fun facts major. It is purely based on random things and memorizing those random things. Everything is so fun. You can discover the fun facts if you go into research.
Oh.
You can make new fun facts, which is why I'm into biochemistry, honestly. I want to be the person who makes up fun facts, or I guess discovers them from real life.
Yeah. I can make up a fun fact right now. Do you know most sharks are named Lisa?
In my opinion, yes.
That's just a lie.
Or is it?
Yeah, you're out there in the dirt, in the water, asking them their names.
Hey, buddy, no, what's your name?
Hey, name and pronouns?
Can you say Lisa instead?
I have a point I'm trying to prove.
We got one. we got a Lisa, you guys.
We got a Lisa, and surprisingly, a she-they. Huh.
A she-they Lisa shark.
It's the rarest breed. Do you have any favorite fun facts? If it's a fun fact major, fucking prove it, man. Hit us with some red hot ones.
Oh my god, well, we were talking about making wine at home earlier, so here's a fun fact. If you do that wrong, you can make a bacteria which produces botulism toxin,
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Botulism, you might have heard of it also for infants. They get it sometimes. Or you might have heard of a little thing called Botox, which is short for botulism toxin. So Botox works because it is a neurotoxin and you are paralyzing your facial muscles. You get that smooth, shiny look.
So you can have a smooth, shiny forehead. You're just shooting it on in there.
One smooth, shiny forehead coming up. And they sometimes help. Botox is sometimes used to help treat migraines because of that. Isn't that fun? There's a fun fact for you.
That is fun. This is so niche. I first learned about botulism on this like Discovery Channel show called like After the End or like After We're Gone.
Oh god.
So hold on. It's weird. It was a show that was just like, what if all humans immediately just disappeared? Like there's just no more people anywhere. What would happen? It was the whole show about going on about like, well, what happened to different buildings? What would happen to different foods? What would happen to like, how would things break down? And they had all these cool like CG images about like bridges falling apart and how they would fall apart. That's where I learned that if you leave a sugar factory unattended for long enough, it will just fucking blow up.
Oh, interesting.
Because the sugar in the air, like the really small particles in the air, if they build up enough, the friction of them rubbing together in the air will be enough to start a fire.
That is fascinating.
And in that show, the one about food, they were talking about how honey can last forever if it's stored in a glass jar. But if you have canned goods that have like any amount of dent in them, they can like have botulism in them. And that's why you should never buy dented or like swollen cans at the grocery store. Swollen ones definitely have botulism. But they're like dented ones might have it. So I am unable to buy dented cans at the grocery store.
The fear has been placed in you.
Yeah, something's just the mannequins and dented cans.
Mannequins, dented cans, all of it.
Jordan Peele should make a movie about those.
Oh, dented can.
Just mannequins with dented cans made out of dented cans.
Every mannequin gets a dented can as a replacement for the hand that was taken from them by a child who doesn't understand how screws work.
There's threads. They're hard. You know what? I'll say it. I'll be very brave. I still sometimes struggle with screws.
No, that's okay. I don't know which way left and right is. They say righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and I go, I'm more confused than when we started.
You don't. In biochemistry, you don't have a right-hand rule. In engineering, there's something called the right-hand rule, which is like how, I think, torque works. Yes, that's how it is. Forces and torque and etc.
They're making me take physics for some reason, so.
Boo! I mean, it's fine, but
Yeah, we do have right-handed and left-handed helices, though, so.
God. Stop it, everyone.
They want me to know directions, and I simply won't do it.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll figure it out, but I can't, I don't know, under pressure doesn't happen for me.
The only way I've survived this long is that I have an identifying freckle on my right hand, and the first time I had to navigate in the dark, I realized just how lost and alone I would be in this world without it.
You grew so close to that freckle. Now, what if a child unscrewed that hand?
I'd be done for. I'd be done for in this life.
Yeah.
Well, okay, actually I wouldn't, because there would still be an identifying mark on my right side, which would be a screw.
Perhaps even a little bit more blatant of an identifying mark.
Yeah. Could maybe notice that in the dark, too.
A little bit more obvious. It's way harder to navigate, I don't know, putting on a backpack and opening a door handle at the same time. It's a little bit more difficult. Yeah. The concept of what if someone unscrewed your hand, how fucked up would that be? That feels like a late season of The Twilight Zone. Just wouldn't this be fucked up anyways?
Oh, what if somebody unscrewed your hand? I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. Well, we don't have any other ideas.
We're out of all the fucking poignant ones. You can't be poignant every week. Yeah. Watch Black Mirror. You can't be poignant or good every week, or possibly even every episode, or I don't know.
Well, but listen, those were the best episodes of Twilight Zone. The ones where they were just like, what if you were in a rocket ship and you went to another planet, and then there was a guy there, and there was a statue garden, and everybody in the statue garden, it turns out, were people who had come there, and but they had all died when they got there. But then because you had come there, you also had to die. Wouldn't that be fucked up? Bye, guys.
Anyways, I'm going home for the week.
All right, see you guys next week.
See you guys Monday. I have just an image in my head. They're just making Rod Serling do all of it. He's writing, he's directing, he's in them.
Playing every part.
They just keep him in a glass box until he comes up with an idea for a new episode, and then they let him out for food and water.
Let me out, I've got one, you guys, I've got one.
Please, what if we were all toys? How fucked up would that be?
What if you were hitchhiking across the country, and then, no, guys, come back!
No, hold on. But actually, you were just a goldfish in a bowl, and then that became the, story for Rango, the movie Rango.
Wow, very powerful.
Cinema facts. No. Do you, I have a bad habit of just being like, oh, I'm having a normal conversation with a peer or a friend, and then I just throw in a fun fact, and I feel like that kills conversations. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of cute when kids do it, but
I never learned how to stop doing it, quite frankly.
I don't know how. How can people, if you know something cool, not be the fucking Sugar Factory fun fact? How can you not tell that to everyone?
That's what every time somebody brings up clovers, which is a lot because I find 4-leaf ones all the time, I need to tell people that they're legumes. How can I not? And then I need to explain what legumes are specifically.
Yeah.
And then they're not talking to me anymore. What's that about?
What's that about? How can you not don't? It's just interesting. How can
Aren't you curious?
Do people not do this? Is it just us?
Is this?
It's a genuine concern of mine. Do you have any favorite fun, a ripcord fun fact? That just lives, I'd call it top level of your brain. Just any time I can find a way to mention this, the fact that sharks have a gel in their nose that lets them sense electrochemical pulses in the water, meaning they can feel not through ripples of waves when fish move nearby them, but because their muscles release an electric shock in order to move the muscle fibers, and that's how they sense if you're moving. How can you not just
Don't you just want to share it?
That lives in the top layer of my brain all the time.
I don't have a top layer one. I feel like they gotta get like resorted every few. It's kind of a mess in there right now, honestly. Like I'm kind of embarrassed to let you in.
Just gotta sweep it up.
There's just kind of like stuff all over the floor. I would try to put it in a closet, except for like the door got knocked off the hinges, and I don't know where the door is right now. So
that legume fact is just like peeking out of like the corner of the door. You get like mostly closed, but that legume fact is like
it's like kind of like sticking out there. I gotta like scramble for it a little
bit.
Like
jammed in the handle a little bit.
It kind of pops out sometimes when it's not even relevant.
Sometimes you're just thinking about 4-leaf clovers or beans, which are also legumes.
Hey, sort of lentils and
Whoa.
peanuts. They're not nuts, they're legumes. They grow under the ground.
Peanuts work as like a natural fertilizer because there's a bacteria that grows with the peanut that fixes nitrogen in the soil.
That's what legumes do.
That's what they do.
That's why they're good to
plant when your fields go fallow, you medieval peasant farmer.
Yeah, keep that in mind next time you're medieval peasant farming, you guys.
You gotta plant, you gotta leave one fucking strip of your farm full of clover and peanuts.
Come on.
You gotta keep all the good stuff in the dirt. So I can pull all that up, but like right hand rule? Sure, maybe. On a good day. Torque?
We'll see if we can get to it. I'll see if I can pull up an image in my mind without pulling up a different image somehow.
Yeah, moment of inertia. This is only going to be important for almost every single day of my education and career. Don't need to worry about it. The fact that legumes fix nitrogen, keep it. Keep it forever.
Memorized all the songs they made us sing in the first grade. That's really cool of my brain. Maybe I could remember some new stuff too.
Only the lion sleeps tonight? Okay, I can work with that.
That's okay. I can remember the song about Smokey the Bear. It's really fun to sing that anytime I see Smokey the Bear, and then I have to have that stuck in my head the rest of the day. Nobody else knows what I'm talking about because it's not a real song.
You're just trapped in your own personal hell. Another of just a song you may have made up about Smokey the Bear.
I think they made us sing it. Gosh, maybe you're right. Maybe I just sang it.
This is another Twilight Zone episode.
Wouldn't it be... Okay, imagine if you were a student in a school and somebody brought up Smokey the Bear, but you knew a song about...
No, please let me out of the cube.
No, come back, you guys. This one will be good, I swear.
It's not like my last 8 Smokey the Bear ideas, please.
What if the lady were brunette this time? Come back.
Oh no, KB, that's so silly. You know brunettes didn't exist in the 50s.
Hey, come on. Yes, they did.
It's just all blondes all the way down.
I want to believe they did.
There's a brunette outside of all of us. KB, you're something of an art maker, an art toucher, if you will.
I don't know where you heard that, but don't fucking repeat that, okay? That's not true. Okay. No, I'm just joshing you. I am. That's the truth.
KB, alleged art toucher. Are you working on any projects currently?
You know what? I am working on every project currently. I'm so glad you asked me about that. You asked me a medium, and I'm doing it. There's an unfinished painting I'm looking at. There's an embroidery project that I've left on the foot of my bed with the needle still in it. A little fret if I don't keep working on it type of thing. We even got some ASMR in the studio for you guys today. If you guys are ready to hear this.
If ready to hear some fucking Foley.
Oh, how beautiful. The sound of a sewing machine. And it's sewing.
You have that so close to you.
It's my room is about 7 by 9 feet, and I have every hobby in the world.
They're all just kind of jammed in there.
I really need to maximize efficiency of this space.
You don't even have a bed frame. It's just a large screen printing frame that you just lay down in at night.
Pretty much, yeah. The shelf, I have a bookshelf next to my bed to hold everything that I need.
You know, if you ever want to knit in bed.
I know you're joking, but there's a knitting project right next to me.
Yeah, I've also, I'm also bad at that, but mine is less like starting projects. Mine's more like wanting to start projects and buying a lot of tools and then not using those tools. I am currently looking at a big fucking box of paint.
I do have a bunch of paint right now. It's been too long since I've painted. Well, here's the thing is I won't even settle on a paint medium. I've got watercolors, I've got inks, I've got acrylics, I've got oil paints that I never use because I don't have great ventilation.
Yeah, you're not a 17th century Italian. Who oil paints it? Who has the
But
time for oil painting?
I could be. I have the time for oil painting. Honestly, I forget that I'm doing things all the time. I've forgotten tea in the microwave for 2 days before. If I set a painting slightly out of my view, I'm not looking at that for months.
I forgot tea in the microwave and for like 6 hours, and I only remembered it just as I was like going to sleep. So I was like just in the stage where you can like feel yourself drift off to sleep. And I'm like, tea in the microwave.
Tea.
And then I couldn't go to sleep for another 3 hours. Not because I drank the tea, but because I remembered it.
You had to live with what you'd done.
No, the last final kick of my brain.
Your brain was so proud of itself that it got a little reward by staying up for 3 more hours.
3 hours in bed saying, fun fact, do you know when you say you go to bed, you actually have to go to sleep, and just laying in bed on your side, reading fan fiction on your phone does not count as resting? It doesn't count as sleep. That's not it.
So does it count when I'm just like staring at the wall? Is that kind of sleeping?
Also, no.
Okay, I think I gotta change some data in my sleep app real quick.
You gotta wear fucking blue blocker glasses. It doesn't count.
Okay, what if I just put on sunglasses and hold very still? Is that like sleeping?
Weird question. Can you sleep with socks on? Like, I'm not asking do you like to. I'm not asking do you prefer to. I'm asking physically can you?
I've done it before, but I've also like in extreme circumstances,
Yes.
Like
I'm right there.
I also can't sleep with a hooded shirt, but I've done it before on accident. If there's a hood there, it's like I'm laying on a sack of rocks, dude. Like what?
That's exactly my camping setup. You gotta have the hoodie and you gotta have socks on, because you're in the fucking woods.
That's what I'm talking about. If you're freezing,
yeah, then
I can commit to the bit.
No, maybe if you're in like a Dyatlov pass incident, but no.
If I've just gotten off of a plane, I might.
Yeah.
Because I gotta redo the whole bed situation, and by that point I'm exhausted and freezing cold because my heater doesn't work, so that's a fun fact about me.
I like the concept of sharing like as an icebreaker fact about yourself where it's like, well, my bed's 7 by 9. My room, excuse me.
God, I wish my bed were my room.
Bed floor.
Bed floor.
The floor can be a bed if you're determined enough.
Yeah, bed floor.
Yeah. In high school, when I would try to do homework really late at night, I would get tired, because it'd be late at night. So I'd be like, I know what I need to do. I'm going to power nap in my bed and then wake up in the morning. So like, that doesn't work. I got to be less comfortable. I'm going to power nap in my comfy chair and then wake up in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm going to power nap on the floor with a blanket. No. I got to the point where I'm like, fine, I'm going to power nap, but I'm not going to turn the lights off in my room. I'm not going to take my jeans off. I'm not going to get a blanket. I'm not going to get a pillow. I'm just going to be laying on my back in a fully lit bedroom next to my bed. And then I would still wake up in the morning. Like, that feels like my personal rock bottom.
Honestly, I respect that you still committed to it after you just get, you weren't even just going to try for the full night's sleep at that point. You were still trying to get productivity out of that, and I respect you for that.
I deserved better.
No, I used to have a little power nap station for myself that was 2 metal shelves with a blanket on top of it.
And yet you made fun of the boy who knocked down all the shoes.
Hey.
Sitting on a shelf. Look at
this
you.
Was a sturdy shelf.
Hypocrite.
I know what shelves I can stand on, and I am acutely aware. I do have to climb them at the grocery store sometimes,
I have done the tests.
I am really good at testing whether or not I'm going to be able to climb shelves and looking up and down the aisle just in case my tests were wrong.
See, my move there, I'm 5 feet tall, not 5 foot anything, just 5 foot. That's it. KB is also vertically similar level.
You can call me 5 feet tall. Just say I'm 5 feet tall. You can say that.
No, KB is a respectable, genuine 5 feet tall.
I'm not in the 4 feet. That would be a lie.
That would
be not the case. I am
that'd
5.
Be so funny.
I did make it to 5. I swear.
Yeah,
I did.
No, made it all the way. My goal is to just find a stranger and ask them if they're passing to get me things. Specifically, I like this brand of hot peppers that comes in these glass jars. Oh. I don't want to and it's always in the fucking like pickle section, so it's all glass jars all the way down. I don't want to risk any kick or step or shatter and me needing to say to a grocery store worker, well, yes, I'm so sorry I broke your glass pickle jar. You see, I had to scramble up on these shelves like a little rat.
Yeah, that's a danger zone. You gotta be careful with that.
So in that instance, I'd be like, hey, tall stranger, you're probably the same age as me. I'm going to need you to grab me 2 of those down. I know I look like a lost child, but I have kind of a woman's face. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, honestly, ever since I started wearing a mask in public, I think people think I'm like literally 7, especially every time I go through TSA, they go, are you older than 12? And I'm like, no, I'm an unaccompanied 11-year-old with 2 carry-ons.
I have a credit card.
This wallet is for my Claire's earrings.
You're just fucking Kevin McAllistering your way throughout the country.
I'm lost in the airport. That's the new Home Alone, and it's filming today. You know, just when I think, the last time I flew, just when I thought I'd gotten away with it, and they hadn't stopped me and asked me if I was 12 years of age, I got on the airplane, and there's a flight attendant, like, standing, it's Southwest, you can pick your seat, and I had woken up very early the day before, and gotten myself a pretty good seat-picking number, so I was on there pretty early. He was hovering near row 7, and it was empty, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna slide in there. And so I slid into row 7, he walked away, and I didn't think any more about it for a few minutes, until the plane was packed full. And they come over the intercom and they're going, hey, we were supposed to have 2 little children sitting in row 7 together. They were 2 unaccompanied kids flying together, and they somehow got separated. And I went, did that guy think I was one of the children? This is what I live with.
I love didn't even ask.
He just scooted.
That fully assumed.
I thought he was just hanging out there. No, he was waiting for like young children to show up, and he saw me go in there, and he was like, "Nope, that checks that off my list of to do."
I think what could solve your problems, if you have it printed on your mask, just say, "I can buy cigarettes." Just print it on there. You can have a couple of them. I can buy cigarettes. I can buy a lottery ticket. You can't say I have a driver's license.
Can't say that. That's true.
Buy a car. I have a credit card.
Can I buy a car without a driver's license?
Yes.
That's confusing, and I should try it.
You can't test drive it. I think you can buy it. I don't know.
Sort of like a sugar daddy situation. I'm buying this car for a different person than me. So somebody who has a license.
Oh, okay, I understand. You are the daddy in that scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. KB, you one of your many art projects is an online comic. Tell me about it.
It is an online comic. That is the case. I do a web comic, and its name is Semi-Normal, and it lives on the internet.
The internet, you say?
The internet, where it lives on the web.
What's it about?
It's like a horror comedy type of situation. Just about, you know, some teens fighting ghosts in their spare time for kicks.
For kicks, for laughs.
Kicks. We love it.
For a goof. What made you want to start the comic?
honestly, like, been into the idea of making a comic for a long time. I never really like do this like I always wanted to write, and I never really like read a ton of books at the time when I wanted to write. So I never really like read a bunch of comics, but I always wanted to make one, and I definitely tried it when I was in like middle school and high school, and I was like, this is hard, you guys. Jeez. And I took a film class in high school, and we learned about storyboarding, and I was like, oh, this is comics, dude.
That's
And
what it
so
is.
yeah, no, I don't do film much anymore, but I do comics, which is sort of like storyboarding, which is sort of like two hobbies in one, if you really think about
Yeah.
it.
Knock it both out. What's your favorite part of doing the comic?
I like writing the comedy. It's funny to me. And probably only me at some point. I like to go back and laugh at my own jokes. And it's they're jokes that don't really work in stand up because they
Yeah.
require multiple flushed out
Yep.
characters who are specific individuals that doesn't read in stand up as well.
Yeah. No, in stand up you can't like have someone play with you. It's
Yeah,
just kind of got to be, and the audience doesn't really know your backstory.
I don't really want to have to drop foreshadowing hints to the audience and stuff
Yeah.
just so that
I
they understand.
I don't want to really like laminated cards I can hand out before open mics that just explain like me and what I'm all about,
Here's
and
my
then have to
character
collect them at the
bio.
end of the night. Yeah.
In a
That
past
sounds
chapter, it's been implied that I'm not from America, so please understand that before I make the next joke.
just
Audience is like, the
explaining me,
fuck?
like when you read the fucking like handout that they give you at a high school play, where it
Yeah.
like gives a short bio of all like the important actors. Dylan's a junior.
Dylan's a
He's mad.
junior and lover to Maddie.
Not enough playbills list the lovers of the actors. They don't list the interpersonal connections between the crew. They don't say who has tension. I don't know where I'm supposed to be giving my attention.
Well, that's the most important part of theater, and they don't even fucking tell you that when
That's
you go
even
to
the
the show.
point.
They don't even tell you which of the actors are beefing behind the stage.
Don't even care. No, the best way to learn that is to be friends with people who are in pit band.
Exactly.
You don't
Or
want
the
to
costume department, that works too.
Exactly. They can't be directly involved with like the theater actor people.
They can't
They've
be on
gotta
the
be
stage.
tertiary.
Yeah.
Because they have no horses in the game. They're not involved in the drama. They just collect all of it and
then they
disseminate it.
Spit it out without
They
any.
do such an important job.
They're not too close to the case or anything. Too like there's no personal connection there.
Absolutely not. No, they're not going to betray anyone. They're not involved. They have no opinion. You're getting the best unbiased information. Pit band, costume department, lighting crew.
Oh yeah, candid, real facts.
Mm-hmm. No, I want honest, equal sides reporting of my theater kid drama. I want to know which of the 3 gay actors in our company, if they're together or not again. They all dated each other at one point. Is just a spider web mess.
Of course.
Of course it is. Obviously.
I want to know when they're mad, who they're mad at, and why. And I want to know it from somebody who's not involved.
Exactly. I need a timeline. I need names.
Names.
I need to know how long the theater director made you stay last night in order to screw in all the new light bulbs. Was it 3 a.m.? Was it 3:30 a.m.? I need a timeline.
Did she yell at you, and were her bangs still as shiny as they always are in the school hallways?
You know they are. A theater director cares about nothing more than her bangs.
Beautiful,
you should know
shiny
this.
Bangs.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening to UW Comedy Hour. Tune in next week at noon, where I'll be talking to my co-Iron Fist of Leadership, Tyler. Make sure to follow Rainy Dawg on Instagram at Rainy, DAWG, for more great radio. Follow at UW Comedy Club on Instagram for show schedules, meeting info, and more. UW Comedy Club has meetings in Savory Hall, room 138, every Wednesday at 6:30, where there is no experience needed to have a good time. Keep listening to Rainy Dog Radio to hear two knights in full plate armor scrabbling around in the dirt like the pigs they are inside. Like the pigs we and all men are inside. There is no glory in the war they wage, no honor in fighting in the mud.
Section. Skip the deli too.
Walk right past that produce crap and those fresh-made du jour soups.
Cause there's an aisle in the grocery store, that new one by the curves for kids.